My name is Amy Ferguson and I'm from Tupelo, Mississippi, and my model research was on pestalozzi. So when I began my research, I read a lot about pestalozzi, and what really struck a chord with me was his philosophy on educating the whole child. He believed that the child needed to be educated mind, body, and spirit. His background played a lot into how he approached education. His time era is between the Enlightenment and the Romanticism eras, and he was influenced by both. We really see a lot of the Enlightenment in his scientific approach to the object model. We can see his Romanticism in his love for children. He was also influenced by the French Revolution. During that time, it really excited his beliefs on that everyone had a right to an education and that all children deserved a quality education. He was also influenced by educational trends like Rousseau. He, like Rousseau, believed in a moral education and that children needed experiences with their senses. The economy was changing at that time. It was going from, it was moving toward an agricultural society. And there was a big industrial revolution at the time. So people were beginning to work outside the home, and children were suffering because they did not have that family unit surrounding them. His philosophy of education built upon these experiences. So he believed that all students deserved an education. All students would learn through their experiences with their senses. But in order for children to learn, their emotional needs must be met first. He believed that the economic concerns of the era were pushing toward educating and loving children to meet that primary need, and from there you could educate further. He moves his theory into practice. He had a dream for a better tomorrow. He turned his family farm into a school for 50 underprivileged children. He put his pedagogical practices into play to see how they would work with real students. And he was focused on educational reform. It was not enough for children just to go to school and memorize and verbalize what they were learning. They had to be able to apply what they were learning. But in order to teach children about their outer world, you first have to meet their psychological and emotional needs. So what were his perspectives on diversity? Actually, it doesn't tell us much about how he felt about different races or different types of people, but we do know that he believed that all children deserved a quality education. He was focused on meeting the needs of the hungry, the scared, and the withdrawn children. He believed that we needed to include vocational education so that everyone, all children, would be ready to be employable when they graduated. So I did a critical analysis of pestalozzi, and in that I found that lots of thinkers modeled their thinking from his. Froebel, Gandhi, and John Dewey. Froebel founded the kindergarten, and he even studied with pestalozzi. And from his studying with pestalozzi, he found that he linked a lot of his own thoughts to those basic principles. And from there, he invented the kindergarten and believed that children would grow and love learning. Gandhi brings in the crafts and the community schools. He takes the vocational aspects of pestalozzi and puts that into place in his community schools. And then John Dewey builds upon the sensory experiences through his own beliefs in education. He had many critics. Many people believe that he was just fanatical, that he was based in fantasy, and that it would not be a successful transition. Parents and teachers were a problem because parents were constantly pulling children in and out of the school system, and teachers did not fully understand how to implement his practices. Implications for today. Today we are very focused on the test. It's all about getting ready for the big test. Students need more hands-on learning experiences, but before they can learn, they must have a good moral education. And like Pestalozzi, we must love on children and show them caring relationships. We must get them ready for the careers ahead of them. We should be focused more on vocational education and providing more avenues for success. We must work like Pestalozzi to meet all the needs of learners. Thanks.